I want to make a case on why I entirely support Wikno Chivayo and the arrest of Sonja and Sonja's mother. To people who don't know the inners, they want you to see a guy who has snapped, a rich, powerful man who snapped is a useful story for Sonja and her legal team. Because the alternative story is a father who simply ran out of acceptable options, who gave you the hand and you wanted to take everything else. We have a system that is specifically engineered to make a father beg for 30 minutes of his own child. The real issue in Wikno's story with Sonja has to do with the children. And it's an uncomfortable territory to go into, I understand. So what we do instead is we have created the villain Wikno. Why? Because he's successful, he's visible, he's loud, and yeah, look at him snap. He's going overboard. I'm not speaking from a position of guesswork, I'm speaking from a position of authority to tell you exactly what Wikno's position looks like. I've been that father who for 5 months I couldn't talk to my kid, I couldn't see him, I couldn't have anything to do with the child at all. The mother would tell the child that your father doesn't care, but yet she blocked everything unless I paid a certain price. And then she went to China. And her friends are the ones who told me that you need to go and get your son. He's in a rural school under the care of a drug-addicted relative. While she was on the other side of the world posting and TikToking about the great life that she is affording of my maintenance. I did not need a court order to know what to do next. I became the primary custodian, not because a judge said so, but because I showed up. I know what Wikno is doing. I understand exactly why he is doing what he is doing, because he has been pushed past every acceptable limit. But as a courtesy to Sonja, I want to take Sonja's position seriously for one moment. Sonja attended a lobola ceremony in July 2017, voluntarily, publicly, and with witnesses. And then she lived inside that relationship for 7 years, had children with Wikno inside of that relationship, built a life inside of it, and then called it a marriage whenever it suited her, and then discovered it was technically unregistered at the precise moment that she needed a financial exit. $25 million is what she wanted, 3 Rolls Royces and prime properties. Sonja has always been trying to negotiate an exit financial plan. Never has she tried to negotiate a real co-parenting plan. And when the court is ultimately asking, what about the children's access to their father? The on record answer is $5 million, and you can see them. Maybe one uninterrupted weekend per school month, his birthday, Father's Day. Sonja has never been a mother trying to protect her children. She's always been trying to create a business model. Let's talk about Sonja outside of the legal case. Wikno is in a stable marriage, grounded, rooted, and building with a woman who is really good for him. Wikno's wife has built a home, a foundation, and a future for Wikno and the kids. Sonja, on the other hand, is still finding herself, which would be admirable if she was not finding herself in every scene in Harare while her children need consistency. While Wikno's chapter is already written, already furnished, already ready for children to walk into, the court will always ask one question above all others. Which environment serves the best interest for these children? And the answer is not Sonja. There is a form of cruelty. Psychologists gave it a clinical name, parental alienation, which is a polite academic term for a weapon. The systematic, deliberate engineering of a child's mind against one of their parents. It runs like this. And watch how this precisely describes what Wikno is going through. Control the school pickups. Control the phone. Attach conditions to every visit. Create price tags for access. And then stand in court composed, victim adjacent, and say, I fully support a healthy relationship with the father. What Wikno is doing is fighting and refusing to be taken advantage of. Whatever private conversations Wikno had with Sonja's mother or with Sonja have no business coming into the public. Now, I will say the thing that everyone in Harare already knows: Sonja did not design this alone. There is a pattern running through Sonja's family, like a fault line. No one in that family can have a relationship that is brought to a dignified end. No one in Sonja's family has not one crisis absorbed and resolved without generating 2 more in its place. The mother, who has been the strategic architect of the entire legal approach, has spent years counseling her daughters on how to conduct themselves in love and in war. Some mothers do not raise good children. Let me tell you what I think a lot of fathers do not actually know about the law. For decades, the Guardianship and Minors Act, Chapter 508, said upon separation, the mother has primary custody. The father has to go to court just to be acknowledged as relevant to his own child's life. So they built a system so that by the time Wicknow's court date arrived, the children had bonded, settled, moved on, and the judge would call that stability and hand Sonja the order. And in 2022, the Guardianship of Minors Amendment Act made it very clear in the law that both parents, married or not, hold equal rights of guardianship and custody. The standard is the best interests of the child. One question survives. Which environment gives Wicknow's children a settled, rooted, certain life right now, today, documented and verifiable? The answer is Wicknow Chivayo. It has always been Wicknow Chivayo. Wicknow Chivayo is not a perfect man, but perfection was never the standard. Presence was the standard. Paying $5 million and still showing up for more, that is the standard. Fighting through asset freezes in 2 countries and still demanding his wheat, that is the standard. So file the papers, fight. I entirely support him doing whatever he has to do to be the custodian of his children. Until next time, head bowed.